Do you ever look around and think, wow, the world is a crazy place, and it just seems to get crazier and crazier? Ease your mind and take a break. This is Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. We're a hub for inspirational Christian sermons, practical keys for Christian living, and Christian discussions and interviews. You'll be inspired to live the life that you were created for. Your host is a top-ranking podcaster, best-selling author, world record holder, aerospace engineer, life coach, evangelist, and founder of John Giftah International. Welcome to Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah.
Since you're talking about people and this mindset, I mean, even I've faced a lot theologically. People have attacked because, like I said, there are sessionists who don't believe in gifts of the Spirit. God uses me in all of those things. I've been attacked. There are people who attack. No matter what you do, people are going to criticize you. And at the same time, you face a lot of discouragement, like being a budding minister of God, right? This is my 13th year of ministry that I started from college days. And the truth of the matter is, you would really expect somebody to encourage you and support you. But for the most part, it doesn't happen that way. It's more of discouragement. I still remember there was a time I paid a huge price to go because back in the day, like even from family, it was a huge struggle for me, like a big sacrifice on my part to do the ministry, irrespective of all of that. So I go all the way to this particular place to preach. I had spoken to this pastor the day before and all of that. And he had canceled the meeting and he didn't even have the courtesy to let me know. I'm going and trying to call him. He's not picking up a call. And a mutual friend, where should I park the vehicle? And they said, sorry, the meeting is canceled. Like, I was heartbroken because you just, you're in the place where sometimes one of the most irritating things I've seen, I'm not taking a jibe on any particular person, no? I'm not criticizing anybody in particular, but I've seen people say, we are here for the next generation. We want to raise the next generation of leaders and we want to support the next generation. But when you actually meet them and say, I'm from the next generation and I'm doing this, let's collaborate, let's do something. They're so cold-faced. And I'm like, there's a night and day difference between what you share on stage that you want to support and raise the next generation. But in reality, there's somebody in front of you, but you're not encouraging them. You're not giving them platform. You're not supporting them. So that can really hit you hard.
No,
right?
John, it's so funny because in my case, right, my pastor from my previous church was actually praying for the, next generation of worshippers to rise or young people to rise and to see a wave of revival and all of these things. And we were their answered prayer.
Okay.
We were their answered prayer. Okay. Basically, whatever they prayed for, we were their answered prayer. This happened few months before Iconic Worship started.
Okay.
And even after Iconic Worship started, this is the things they prayed for. So they prayed for revival. They prayed for young worshippers to rise up. They prayed for everything. But once God answers their own prayers, not anyone else's prayers, God answers their prayers, is when, we faced all the backlash. I was personally falsely removed from my church.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Removed from my church. They stopped prayer group in my home.
Okay.
We had it for 12 years.
Oh shoot.
12 years, no reason. The pastor just comes up to my dad like this, puts her hand on the shoulder and says, let's take a break. And in fact, when we opened our home for the prayer group.
Okay.
It was when they were having it some other place.
Okay.
And it is an apartment complex. And people who came for the prayer group were being sent back home.
Oh.
Very apartment security.
Okay.
That's how bad and desperate they were. And I remember we were also not in a financially well-to-do place. My parents didn't have money to even provide snacks
for
people coming to prayer group. 500 rupees per week is extremely difficult on my dad. My dad didn't complain. He'd never complain. He never said, let's share the nothing. He was like, I've taken up responsibility. I remember we had these old sofas. We were embarrassed to have them for prayer group people. But somehow again, God gave us some new provision, new ideas, and all those things were fixed.
Okay.
From that place, we supported every Friday, most of the Fridays, I would say 99% of the Fridays we were there.
Okay.
We made sure all our vacations were planned Friday we have to be there for prayer group.
Oh.
You know, this is how it's planned. And we did, what do you say, nothing wrong. All we did is follow God's call. And we were removed. My sister serves in the cleaning department of that church.
Okay.
I remember she, from a very young age, she was shorter than the chair.
Okay.
When she started the chairs. And she grew taller than the chair.
Okay.
She was removed. You know, and the worst part is, the way we were removed is over a phone call from a receptionist. Not even like, having a sit down, nothing. And what do you say? The even worse part is, they can't tell that they removed us for iconic worship. It looked bad on their part.
Yeah.
They can't say, oh, they started iconic worship, so we removed. No. So they, put a lot of rumors. A lot of rumors on my dad's reputation, on my sister's reputation, on my reputation, on my mother's reputation, so that, they can paint it off as, that is the reason I'm moving.
Yeah, I get it.
And the worst part is, those rumors and those things follow until today.
Oh my goodness.
Till today, on my little sister, on my dad, on me, and since it comes from one big pastor in Bangalore, it's okay. They're like, okay, we believe him. Then
yeah,
you are just
I get.
You're very young. You're very young. So of course, it's very difficult. Of course, a place you thought which was home, which was safe. And worst part is, there's one group which believes that, which takes that as granted, and it goes over there. But the bright side of this is, God never leaves us, God never forsakes us. And that's when we had met. I had met Pastor Sammy.
Okay.
The way he stands for us, the way he supports us, encourages. I'm not even a part of FGG Church, but we had this 21-day fasting prayer, which Pastor Sammy asked us to do.
Okay. Because
he's mentoring iconic worship, and he's given the basement for almost all the 21 days.
Okay.
Just come use. He's so happy, and he allowed us to have iconic worship in their church. So while one side is always accusing and trying to bring you down, there's one side of people within the same God's ministry who will be there with you, will support you, and they have no reason to support.
Yeah.
To be honest, there is no benefit, or there is logically, even in a ministry point of view, there is no benefit. It's just the heart.
True.
In the first iconic worship, 80% of the musicians were from FGJ Church.
Oh, yeah, I met you through them. Yes.
80% were from FGJ Church. And from my church, there were no musicians.
Oh, okay.
But my church had a problem. FGJ Church, I think they needed a clarification, like what's happening. They informed this is a ministry, blah, blah, blah. And I remember, I think the response from them, from a few of our members, is, that is God's ministry. We can't stop it. Only thing is, make sure your commitments are aligned. Right? Once you're committed to the church for that week, if you're rostered for that week, make sure you don't miss out on that. But in fact, one of the reasons why we have practice on Thursdays, we used to have practice on Fridays. The reason we have practice on Thursdays is because most of our musicians are from FGAG, and they go to 90 minutes with Jesus.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, if there is a church, not causing any trouble, who's accommodative, I want to be accommodative.
Yeah.
I don't want to make practice on Fridays. You know what? Let's do it on Thursdays. Practice on Thursdays, because I want to accommodate you guys. I don't want you to skip your 90 minutes with Jesus. I don't want to skip your church commitment. So we have it on Thursdays. You go to church Friday evenings on to FGD Church. So yeah, that's one. I think I love about God's kingdom itself. While there are people from the same place trying to bring you down, people who don't even know you
are actually supporting.
I'm not even, till today, I'm not a part of FGG Church. I'm not a member.
Okay.
People assume, because of the kind of love and support I get from the church, everyone thinks I'm a FGG Church member. But like I keep saying, FGG is always home. Every other church, to get permission, we needed to write a lot of letters and stuff like that. I understand.
Yes, they have their protocols.
For FGG Church, Pastor, can I have this week in FGH? His answer is sure. Anything for you.
Wow. So good.
That's so beautiful.
So I was just, as you were saying, I was reminded of how there's this revelation that God gave me about Joseph, right? The cupbearer who he invested in, he was someone within his control, who was within his capacity, but he forgot about him, right? He was within his contact, within his reach, but he forgot about him. Potiphar was also within his reach, but he never cared about him. But we think about Pharaoh, who was beyond his reach. He was not even in his contacts, but he was the one who actually rescued him and took him to the next level of his destiny. So you never know from where help comes from.
Absolutely.
Even I was reminded, even in Jeremiah, it talks about a moment when the king and the group, they were so angry with Jeremiah, they actually put him in a cistern-like thing, and he starts sinking. And the only one who comes and helps him is actually a foreigner. It's not even anybody from the same faith. It's not even anybody from the same nation, but a foreigner of a different faith. So sometimes you never know where help comes from. Like you talked about Pastor Sam. He's such a sweet person. I'm so grateful to him. I always say this, when my ministry was just budding and in the starting stage, I still remember when I was going to organize my first meeting, he gave one of the first offerings to my ministry. Yeah, so I'm always grateful for that. Like, I always remember, like, that's the heart, right? That you can be a pastor of a mega church, but do you have the heart for the one in front of you? And that is so sweet, because this church hurt can really hurt you.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people go away from God, go away from the things of the Lord because of church hurt. And I think we really need to talk about that aspect, like, and draw in that, you can't just, because for me, I've gone through moments where the people who hurt me the most were actually, sad to say this, but Christians. They said, I have psychiatric problem. They said, I have demon possessed. They said all sorts of things, Even 2 weeks ago, I think one of my videos, I think it reached like 30,000 views or something on Instagram, one of those videos. And this particular person was like, and his bio on Instagram says, child of the Most High God, like very, very, like Christian-y. And he's like, oh, you're such a moron. You're something where dropped on your head and you have psychiatric problem. I was like, a normal person would be so hurt, they may never want to have anything to do with God. And I think that's one of the places where we need to remember. Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges that we face today is the element of church hurt. And so how can we do something to develop or make the culture in the church better, that we don't hurt and chase people away,
Especially what I've seen in at least Bangalore culture of churches is they don't encourage collaboration. Everything has to be done under the ministry's name. It's funny enough because the name of their church has to be lifted above the name of Jesus itself.
True.
And for example, even at my previous church, I would say that was the major reason. And it is not just me. There are at least so many people who've gone through the same. In fact, after I came out of the church, many people from that church hurt who've been removed because they wanted to, help some other ministry or, work in their own calling for God, had gone through. So they all came to me and they told those things. But what I would say is, if pastors and leaders are very confident about their calling, there won't be any fear about any other people, any other calling.
True.
Only when you think that, when you're not confident about your own calling, when you're not confident about why God has called you, you might want to artificially hold that calling through these methods, manipulation and methods, stuff like that. And that's one major thing. That's a major thing. I think every church, a lot of people are born, a lot of people are doing ministry. Whenever I talk to someone, they're like, I have this ministry, but I also am a part
of this church.
So if we can understand that, when Jesus, before he was crucified, he was making a prayer to the Father. And I think that's John chapter 17. And Jesus says, Father, let them be one as you and I are one. It's very intimate, like Jesus and Father are one. So let them be one let these people be one, as you and I are one. After that, fast forward, we have 45,000 denominations.
Yeah.
Right? So within the denomination also, within the same denomination church also, there is fight.
Yes.
Forget within churches. In the same church also,
Yeah, there's
so
groups.
much groups.
True.
So, I think people just have to be secure.
Yes.
It is all of church hurt is because of insecure leaders. Once you're insecure, that's when you are you hurt people.
True.
I think it dates back to bullies. Sorry to use extreme examples, but if you look at bullies in high school, when they hurt other people, it's because they're insecure about something.
Yeah.
They're struggling with something. They're facing their own insecurities.
Yeah.
Secure people don't bully anybody.
True.
It's the insecure ones who bully other people. So similarly, there's bullying in church happening, and it's because of insecure leaders.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's so true about being secure in who you are. Like, if Saul was secure in the fact that he was the first king of Israel, he wouldn't be chasing after David. Right? A lot of people are missing their destiny because they're chasing other things. Right? Like, I think this is something that comes to all of us. Right? Like, even for me, I'll be honest before God. I say this, like, sometimes I struggle, like, oh gosh, God, I'm spending so much of time. Over the years, I've spent so much of time on money into, like, all of my videos. From the beginning, I used to go to the studios and record because I was like, the quality should be good and things like that. And like, God, I'm spending so much time, so much money. I want to start seeing the kind of results that I'm hoping for. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it's so tempting to look at somebody else getting like, oh, they just started and they started on their phone and look at them, like going viral. Then I had to come back to the place of, God, keep me secure. Like have I been jealous? Of course I have been jealous. And I always take that jealousy to God. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the thing that really makes the difference. Instead of acting like, look at me, like if the minute, I still remember, I think there was this moment when I was going to organize some particular meeting, and then I told this pastor friend of mine, and I said, can you post it on your church group? And then he said, go find your own audience. I'm like, I didn't even think in that angle. I'm not trying to poach your audience, you know what I mean? Like, or your congregation, because I always believe it this way, right? Like everybody has a separate gift. Now, iconic worship, you guys have something to give, something different. I have something that's unique and different. We're going to talk about that revelations part. Like if you say, if I always say this, like, if you have headache, you will go and take something like a paracetamol, right? Like, and if you have stomach pain, you go and take something else. So if you feel really discouraged and, you really need encouragement, you would listen to somebody like Pastor Joel Osteen. If you want to learn something about healing, you go and listen to somebody like Benny Hinn. So likewise, everybody has something to offer. We are not here trying to compete with someone else. We are here to team up with other people. And I really, really wish ministers would get that into their spirit. I'm not here to compete with someone. Sometimes, I go and preach in some places and I have a media ministry. So sometimes just putting a video clip from a different location, generates more views. It helps in reaching people. People just want to check out what it is. And sometimes they don't want to give that video. You know what I mean? Like, am I going to build a mansion with that video? No. I really wish, ministries and pastors would get into that place of maturity. As Christians also, that we would realize that we are all in the same team.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't be fighting against each other, but rather, going together.
You've been listening to Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. We hope you were blessed and inspired to live the life that God has for you. Make sure to subscribe to the John Giftah YouTube channel for regular uploads of sermons, skits, interviews, and more. Follow John Giftah on Instagram for regular inspirational posts. And don't forget to check out the best-selling books written by John Giftah. Who Am I?, which will help you understand your identity, and the latest #1 bestseller, Unveil Your Purpose, helping you discover your purpose and to start walking in it. Make sure to leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends and loved ones. If you'd like to donate, you can find the PayPal link in the description. And if you'd like to invite John Giftah to speak at your event or to get more details, go to the website at www.johngiftah.com. See you on the next episode of The Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. God bless you.